The richest man in the room is wearing a $15 watch. You wouldn't notice him. That's the point. While everyone else is trying to look wealthy, the people who actually have money are doing something almost nobody talks about. They're hiding it on purpose. Here's a number that will change how you see every millionaire you've ever imagined. Studies on self-made millionaires found that the majority never bought a new car in their life. Not one. They bought used, they drove it into the ground, and they never once cared what the neighbors thought. That's not what you were taught to expect from wealth. You were taught that money looks like something. A watch, a car, a house with a view. But the people who actually keep their money learn something the rest of us never did. Looking rich and being rich are opposites. Let that sit for a second, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every dollar spent trying to look wealthy is a dollar that will never compound. It's gone. It bought you a look for a few years and nothing else. Meanwhile, the guy in the $15 watch put that difference into an index fund 30 years ago, and now it's worth more than the car you're still making payments on. This isn't a story about being cheap for the sake of being cheap. It's smarter than that. Frugality, done right, isn't about deprivation. It's about redirecting money away from things that lose value the second you buy them, and into things that grow while you sleep. Here's where it gets interesting. Researchers who studied self-made millionaires found a pattern that shocked even them. Most of these people lived in middle-class neighborhoods. Most drove cars that were, on average, several years old. Most never inherited a dime. And almost none of them look like what you'd expect a millionaire to look like walking down the street. So if the people with the most money don't spend like it, who's actually spending like a millionaire? The answer is uncomfortable. It's people trying to look like one. Somewhere along the way, we confused the appearance of wealth with wealth itself. Social media made it worse. Every scroll shows another person in a car they're leasing, a bag they financed, a vacation they can't actually afford, all performing a version of success that has nothing behind it. And here's the twist almost nobody sees coming. The people performing wealth the loudest are often the furthest from actually having it. Because every dollar spent on the performance is a dollar that could have quietly become real wealth instead. Let's talk, not in theory, in practice. First, they treat depreciating assets like a trap, because that's exactly what they are. A new car loses a huge chunk of its value the moment it leaves the lot. Self-made millionaires know this instinctively, so they let someone else eat that loss. They buy the car after it's already taken the hit, drive it for a decade, and put the difference into something that actually grows. Second, they don't upgrade their lifestyle every time their income goes up. This is the part that separates people who build wealth from people who just make more money and stay exactly where they started. Every raise, every bonus, every new stream of income becomes an opportunity to increase savings, not an excuse to increase spending. The lifestyle stays flat. The net worth doesn't. Third, they are almost invisible about money in public. You will rarely hear a real millionaire talk about how much they're worth. The people bragging about money in comment sections and on social media are, more often than not, deeply in debt trying to convince themselves and everyone else otherwise. Real wealth doesn't need an audience. It just needs to keep growing quietly in the background. Fourth, and this one surprises people the most, they still compare prices. Even with 7 figures in the bank, a huge number of self-made millionaires still clip coupons, still compare prices before a purchase, still ask if something is actually worth it. Not because they have to, because that habit is exactly what got them there in the first place, and they never saw a reason to abandon the thing that worked. Here's the part that changes how you should think about your own spending. None of this is about never enjoying your money. It's about being deliberate with where it goes. The wealthy aren't frugal about everything. They're frugal about the things that don't matter to them, so they can spend without guilt on the things that do. That's the real secret hiding inside all of this. It was never about spending less. It was about spending on purpose. Most people spend by accident. A subscription here, an upgrade there, a purchase made because it was easy, not because it was wanted. Then at the end of the month they wonder where the money went. The wealthy flip that entirely. Every dollar has a job before it's ever spent, and the dollars that don't have a job go straight into something that grows. This is why 2 people earning the exact same income can end up in completely different financial positions 10 years later. It was never about how much came in. It was about how much was allowed to stay, and what it was allowed to become. So here's a question worth sitting with. If someone looked at your last 30 days of spending, would they see someone building wealth quietly in the background, or someone performing it loudly in the moment? You don't need a bigger income to start closing that gap. You need to stop paying for the appearance of success and start paying into the reality of it. The $15 watch was never about the $15. It was about where the rest of the money went instead. And that decision, made quietly, over and over, for years, is the actual difference between looking wealthy and becoming it.